Last year, I built my own world for Star Wars called the Dark Universe. This year, I thought I'd start a new universe, a more fantasy-driven one that will incorporate fantasy, sci-fi, steampunk, and anything else I can think of. This map will grow and more will be added as I expand this universe, and we will meet the residents, myths, and legends, and possibly monsters, of this strange faraway land. Welcome to Shambalshire. My name is Aaron, and you're watching Terrain by Aaron. Just off the coast of the Sea of Shortness Nothing is a small patch of rocks called the Shifting Stones of Timeless Reflection. This is where our story begins. But to get there, we have to build our protagonist. And that starts with a baby's toy, a hammer to be precise. Don't worry, I swapped this out for a bag of sweets and a juice bottle from the child I stole it from. And before you set the cops on me, I actually bought this from a thrift store, and it lights up and makes weird noises. It's going to get broken down. Find one screwdriver and proceed to take apart the toy. As you can see, I resorted to brute force and ignorance on this bit and just used the screwdriver just as a lever just to pull apart the plastic. Red or white wire, I'm going for red and nothing blew up, so we're all good. That bit will go into my bit box and I'll totally forget about it. So these are all the parts of the hammer, and I'm seriously thinking about my life choices right now. I've no idea what to make as I never have any clear plans for my builds. It would seem I've totally stumped myself on this one, and I'm thinking I should hand this back to the thrift store and get my money back. I took a 2-hour lunch break, watched Mobland, and chuckled to myself how Pierce Brosnan, a true Irishman, has upset half the viewers of the show with his Kerry accent. Being British, I can hear he's using a Kerry accent, but most viewers are used to the inaccurate Irish accent most films go for. And to explain this, I'll do a little voice reenactment. Begolly begosh, top of the morning to you, is the Irish accent used in most films, a bit like Dick Van Dyke's English accent in Mary Poppins, which goes like, "Cor blimey Mary Poppins." You see, totally not used in any sort of way or form, but that's the stuff that we listen to because of all the films that come out with these sort of accents. Anyway, back to the build. So after my quick film study of bad accents in films, I had an idea of how this build should go, and I'll explain. I decided I should make a robot with thin legs that tends to a garden, but not just any old garden, a Zen garden. And I knew I wanted to call him Gert, in honour of one of my favourite scratch building YouTubers over on Dark Matter Workshop. So what I have is something from a Spider-Man toy that I need to cut and reposition the legs so it'll stand correctly. To reinforce the joint, I'm going to use some baking soda that will act as a strong bond with the super glue. It's a bit flimsy, but I think it may work. On for shoes, I think. I took the shoes from my Junkbox bit collection and carefully positioned everything and glued the feet onto the shoes. A little more baking soda because I don't trust myself with these bonds. With the legs done, I grabbed some thin EVA foam cut into strips to cover the gaping hole on the body of the hammer. To cover the hole for the underneath, I used the piece that came from the hammer, stuck down some more EVA foam just to cover that hole, and while I mess about with that, it's subscriber shout out time. It's my way of acknowledging all my awesome subscribers who watch, pay attention and leave awesome comments. I reply to all, so if you've never left a comment before, do so. I reply to all. This is a 1/35 scale German tractor that I'll use for my kit bashing bit. I bought this simply because it was it has an awesome engine that I wanted to use for Gert. So I'll start snipping things off and start attaching things, or basically attaching plastic to plastic. So I'll do a quick montage of all this and then we'll end up with an engine. Bloody hell, that was quick. There is said engine, kind of. I'll add some little lights to the front, but you can't see that because of my big chunky monkey hands. Oh, there we go. I glue the rim of a tyre to the front of the hammer. Used more mudguards for either side of the engine, that's for like protection. I had to be careful how I attach these because the way I want to attach the engine to Gert's main body, I didn't want these to get in the way. And using the hole in the back of the main body, the engine just slotted into place, well, with a little bit of super glue and baking soda. But there was the body and the engine. So that's how it looks at the moment. I just need to add some more parts to the side bits, which I did off screen because there was a lot of faffing about, and then it was time to attach the legs to the main body, or the other way around. And I was extremely happy and relieved to know that nothing was top heavy and, well, yeah, no, it stays. It was at this point I realised it needed more model bits, so I just kept chopping away at these little bits of plastic just to add to my bigger bit of plastic. I built up some wheels, just kept adding little bits to them before sticking them down and covering those annoying bits at the side of the hammer. Okay, it's code word time. Leaving a comment, want to ask a question, or you're lonely and just need a friend. Put the code word in your comments so I know you're a watcher and not a peeper. Those of you not subscribed, even if you drop a like on the video, it helps out my channel, and the code word is Serenity. Please also like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks a million. So with Gert finished and built, it was time to start thinking about a diorama. So let's get on to the diorama. So for the diorama, I took a picture off the wall and just used some packing foam as the base, used a lot of glue, and then started sticking sand down and then rocks. So for the ending bit, or this last bit of me painting, where I would usually say what colours I'm going to use, I'm going to do the story instead. So here comes the story of Gert and the Zen Garden. The townsfolk of Shambalshire don't recall how or when Gert the Zen gardening robot appeared. He just did. Some tales say he fell from the sky on a rainy afternoon, or was that at night? In a blaze of flames crashing in the region of the shifting stones of timeless reflection. For days, fires burned in a huge crater as people looked on, but by day 5, Shambalshire folk went about their normal business, soon forgetting about the comet or falling thing from the sky. But it was after a sudden deluge of reports from hikers and traders that the region of shifting stones piqued the town folks' interest once again. Reports or whispers were being made that large stones had been moved into towers, and what was once a barren landscape was soon flush with green grass and small peculiar looking baby trees. They looked old, but were no more than, a foot, 2 foot high. The noble knights of the Teacup Order decided to check things out and made the journey in 2 days to find a strange 4-legged robot tending to the plant life, moving rocks and watering plants. Now, having watched this robot and also inspected the crater it had come from, they found a metal plate no bigger than a number plate with strange writing on it that just said Gert, Garden, Environmental, Recreation, technology. Also underneath that number plate was a burnt, tattered flag with white stars and stripes on it. No one in Shambalshire had ever seen this flag before, and they wondered if indeed that Gert was from a different universe. After a week of studying Gert, the knights went back to the village and proclaimed that Gert was of no harm to them and they had no concerns. Over the years, children would go see Gert and throw paint at him or push the stone towers down to try and get some kind of reaction. Sadly for them, Gert would just quietly rebuild the stone towers, repair the fallen trees, and just go about his business. Gert wasn't interested in them or the townsfolk. His mission was one of peace and harmony, readying this place for the storm that was soon to come. Because, unbeknown to the folks of Shambalshire, Gert was the quiet beginning of what was going to become an invasion. So that's the story of Gert, the Zen gardening robot. I hope you liked the story. I hope you enjoyed the video. Glamour shots of Gert are next, so all that's left for me to say is thanks for watching and keep scratching that build, everybody.